You can add, just edit. Just go to edit. Yep. You can just pick Facebook.
Oh, that's what I got. Yeah,
Yep.
those ones I want.
Okay. All right.
Where it's not going to be twins cut. I wish I could just talk to it.
You can change the stop of that camera. That way, if yourself is, I can just hit that button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're live right now.
Love it.
I do too.
It didn't show it. But welcome to Exhaust Noise Podcast. Welcome to Cycle Vision Network. Just getting all the settings right here. Hanging out in the RV lot at Daytona International Speedway with my man Simko. We had a crazy weekend, man. You guys came down Wednesday. I was here a couple days earlier. And let's start at the beginning of the week. Wednesday, it's really just all about credentials and all kinds of other stuff. But how did the week start for you? And then we'll eventually get to how did it finish.
I mean, the week was good. It's always an honor to come to Daytona and see all my friends and hang out. Like you said, Wednesday's always hectic and crazy, showing up, getting credentials sorted out, getting everything situated. But when we arrive to the track, it's game time, like always, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like all weekends, it was absolutely amazing. My dad come with me as he did Daytona last year. He'll be with me at Jersey too as well. So yeah, I always love spending time with my dad at the races. And well, I say that I like to have his presence here, but I'm always so busy. I'm doing this and doing that all the time. But I really enjoy having my dad here with me.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always good having family. The funny thing is, Daytona, I feel like there's always more family here than anywhere else, maybe because it is a vacation destination, right?
Yeah.
And but we finished our day talking to one of the Canadian racers, maybe the only Canadian racer in the Daytona 200, and he was down here. His girlfriend's down here. Everybody else was down here.
But look who just showed up.
Brandon Posh is
The
down
legend
here. Brandon,
himself, Posh, has come on.
hey, come on down, join the podcast, Mr. Brandon Posh.
We're in the
Yeah, grab a chair and we'll spin here. Yeah, man, put you right here on the end next to Simco. But Brandon Posh, two-time winner of the Daytona 200. We were just talking about getting in here Wednesday, Thursday, and just kind of all the emotion and for us kind of watching or announcing. But as a racer, what do you feel when you arrive here Wednesday, Thursday? You're going through credentials, and you're getting set up, the team's getting in the garage. What's kind of happening emotionally, physically for a rider here?
Oh, you're always nervous, You're showing up, it's a big event, a lot of pressure, a lot of money on the line. And
especially this year, yeah?
Especially
the
this year.
Big purse, $50,000 to the winner?
Yeah, I was not too stoked to be missing out on the prize money. I mean, but yeah, you're just a little nervous.
As a currently unemployed or recently unemployed racer, right? Like you had a deal that kind of came together last minute.
Yeah.
So I'm sure for you, it's like, man, I'd like a piece of that $50K right now. And that was before, obviously, you signed to ride the Superbike with John Ulrich and the F4 X-Star Suzuki.
Yeah. No, I'm super stoked to be racing the Superbike all year this year. But obviously, like, I've raced the 200 every year. I'm always in the mix, always at the front, and won it before. So, like, for me, sitting there watching that was tough, especially how the race ended up playing out. I was actually really frustrated, but it's great to be here. And it's obviously super sick to have a ride for the whole season. And glad to be back racing.
And you've ridden the Team Hammer Superbike before. When you're looking for a Daytona 200 team, because I talked to a lot of different riders and teams and sponsors about, putting something together for the Daytona 200, mainly because there's so many riders that are capable of winning that race, that have won the race before, that have had good finishes and been on good teams that didn't have rides. Yourself, Andrew Lee, right? I mean, the list goes on and on. When in the off season or even at the end of the season, when you're looking ahead to the Daytona 200, what are the things you're looking for in a team? Like, what do you want out of a motorcycle? What do you want in a team and a crew chief? What are the pieces that you need to come together to go, yeah, I could ride that. I could do well on that. Not just to compete and have a bike, but I might win on that thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you need a strong bike That's a big start. But the thing is with the 200, like the pit stops, you need a good, competent, capable crew that can compose themselves well, and
especially when there's 3 of them.
yeah, and make it through the pit stops without making a stupid mistake or having something go wrong. Like that's the hardest part about this race, the pit stops. Like I don't know, but minus the whole team thing, like everybody can have a good bike. You could be a good rider, and around here, you know, with a good bike and being a decent rider, you can be in that lead group, no problem. It's easy to stay in that group, but without having a good crew that can, you know, get you in and out of the pits in a timely manner, like you're kind of
You're one of the only 2-time winners of the Daytona 200. You did it once on a Triumph, right, and once on the TSE Yamaha.
Yep. Yeah, Yamaha.
2 completely different platforms, 2 completely different motorcycles,
different teams. Different everything.
What was it about each of those that gelled that allow you to do that?
The first year I raced it was on that Yamaha in 2018, I think, or 17.
By the way, I have a Brandon Posh Dunlop podium hat in my office.
Hell yeah!
I got it from the TSE guys. Yeah, it was part of an auction that we did for a charity up in the Midwest region, and I started bidding on stuff just to kind of help drive it up.
Yeah.
I won it, so I might have had 2, but I think I gave one away to somebody else who was like, "Oh man, I can't believe you got that." And I was like, "Oh, look at you, I got it." Right? But yeah, I had 2 of those, and I think I had it with one of your knee pucks too. But anyway, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah. I don't know. I raced it for the first time in like 2018 or something, and the whole race was Bobby Fong and me out front. We had a 30-second gap over Wyman or whoever was in third, and I was pretty much lining up the draft that I ended up doing the 2 years that I won it. And we had a red flag with 5 to go, and kind of got hosed on that deal. Ended up like 8th or 5th or something. I don't even know. And from that point, all I wanted to do was win the 200 and put my head down every winter, just training for that. And, I don't know. I think I got lucky in some ways, but it's not luck when you're prepared, you know. And when preparation
is preparing to fail, right?
That's saying like when preparation meets skill,
opportunity.
Whatever. I don't even know what the saying is, I guess, but I don't know. We were just ready to go, and the team was ready for me, and I was ready for them, and it just meshed. You know, we got lucky. There was no red flags, no hiccups for us in our race, and that's what it takes around here. You know, everything has to go right.
Yeah, and you know, Josh, you know, to kind of change gears, you know, Josh Heron won, you know, on a Yamaha, you know, back in that era as well, and now he goes 4 in a row. Could you even comprehend doing it 4 times in a row, back to back?
Brandon's like, I already did 2.
Yeah, I mean, I did half of that, but you know, obviously, like for me, when I was going for the 3rd one, it's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, and not necessarily like externally, but like on myself. Like, hey, like I've won this shit twice, I can win it again, and like I'm the dude. Like I'm showing up to win, and you get that in your head, and it's easy to overthink it and easy to kind of spin yourself out a little bit for sure. So Heron did a great job like managing that pressure on himself, and it sounded like in his like press conference that he wasn't even like worried about it. He didn't think he was going to win, so he did, you know.
And maybe that was the best place for it. Watching that play out, one of the things that stood out to me, and I said it on the Moto America Live post game show with Pat Alexander. Obviously, you talked about team coming together. Not only did they have a strong pit stop team and team strategy and everything else, it looked like PJ and Josh had very specific communications between them. They came in and they pitted together, and then they left together. But PJ originally had an issue getting out, and so Heron kind of popped out and jumped in front of him. PJ actually came into the pits first, and Josh popped out in front of him, and then he turned around and saw that PJ left right behind him, and he like fist bumped. Yeah, there was a clear strategy there for them to leave the pits and work together, and they had been working together. But this was the 3rd pit stop. This was the race to the checkered flag, and they wanted to do it together. And it was heartbreaking when PJ crashed. But there was a clear plan that those 2 had to leave and run to the finish together.
Yeah, I feel bad for PJ with that one. I mean, it was just an unfortunate tip over, and he had that in the bag.
Did you ever have the opportunity to work with a teammate where you had the chance to get to the checkered flag with helping each other in the draft?
I worked a little bit with Eslick, the couple years on that Triumph TOBC team. I worked with Eslick a little bit here and there, but honestly, like with him, it was we worked together a little bit, but we kind of did our own things, and like we both wanted to win, and like I don't know, I think we were kind of just on two different programs a little bit, but it was kind of crazy seeing them like working together in the race too. So what they had to do is a smart move, and PJ kind of got the short end of the stick.
And then could you imagine if he got to the checkered flag, because clearly they were 1-2, nobody was going to catch him, right? Tyler Scott wasn't going to catch him, and then if Kayla would have got on the podium there for third, I mean, could you imagine just the Ray Hall going 1, 2, 3? It would have been so insane.
For us,
right now,
I know. I'm sorry. I forgot you're wearing the Suzuki logo now. And for Team Hammer, I mean, I want Chris to win that so bad. I want JU to win that so bad. Tyler Scott, I want to win that so bad. But at the same time, I was really rooting for Heron to just be part of history. And because not just with 5, right? Because there's 2 other people that have 5. He's the only guy to do it 3 times in a row. Who do you see coming up that could win it 4 times in a row and go for 5?
Maybe the next 4 years.
There you go.
That's what I'm going to say. Gosh, right here.
Let's
go.
Absolutely.
I guarantee you I'll be back next year.
Where's the double rollies at?
I don't even wear them. Honestly, it's old news at this point. I'm moving forward from that. Like, I don't even care about it. I want to come back and prove a point. Like,
I love it.
I'm the only other person other than Heron in the past 6 years to win it. So I want to come back and win that thing next year and give M4 Team Hammer
absolutely
first place here at the Daytona.
Because it starts now, doesn't it? I mean, so Simko and I were down here in the fall, and Team Hammer comes down there in the fall. They do the 200 in the fall. Or the 2.5-hour race. It's not officially a 200. They run the laps. They race all the sprint races. They do the endurance. They do everything else. There are very few teams, riders that have the laps that Escalante and Tyler Scott have around Daytona Speedway. And like it would be hard to argue the fact that the bikes aren't enough, because they've proven that the bikes are on the podium every year for the last however many years. Richie and Ty Scott have both led the race the last few years, have been on the podium, right? Clearly the motorcycles and everything's capable of being there. Now is where that luck has to meet the preparation. Yep. You can do it, man.
Yeah,
like you got it.
Brandon says I really appreciate it, Brandon.
Brandon Posh, 2-time winner Daytona 200. Thank you, sir. We'll see you next time. Road Atlanta, brother. Road Atlanta.
Give me a call, Brandon.
Thank you, everybody.
See you guys.
See you, bro.
Brandon Posh, everybody, dropping in on the exhaust noise. But what are your thoughts? I mean, on Brandon Posh, absolutely Brandon Posh could win it again.
Yeah, I mean,
especially on a Team Hammer motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's proved he's capable of doing it because he's a 2-time Daytona 200 winner, right? And I remember when he won his second one, I seen him. He had both rollies on. I was like, "What time is it?" He's like, "It's double time, baby. Let's go!" Right? So yeah, Brandon's one of those guys. But as you mentioned before, it's not just about the skill. It's also the luck that comes into play too, especially at a place like Daytona. It's such a unique racetrack, and it's a different strategy than any other race we go to on the calendar, right?
Well, because PJ had it locked. I mean, PJ was right there, and
he folded the front,
and you could see that him and Heron were just running together, good, clean, consistent pace, strong lap times. Ty Scott was matching the lap times, but they had a little bit of a gap. They were all there. PJ wasn't trying to pass Josh. They were just working together. They were just working together, pushing the draft, getting through traffic, getting to the end, keeping the gap. And I feel like, what a great opportunity for those guys, because they had 4 riders to do it, right? If it wasn't PJ, it could have been Kayla. If it wasn't Kayla, it could have been DeMario. And a good run for the rookie DeMario.
Him and shout out to Ryder Davis, first time Daytona 200, just turned 16-year-old's top 10 finish, 9th, I think.
On the Pittsburgh Ducati V2, all that came together last minute. And I've been kind of poking in his pits all weekend, like, come on, man, like, you can do this. You can do this. Little high five to the team, and like, come on, like, just keep pushing forward. Just because the thing with at Daytona, because you have the draft and there's a lot of leapfrogging and stuff like that, I always just tell people like the strategy here. I mean, I've passed a lot of people here at Daytona as well. For me, like my strategy was always just the next get the next guy. Just get to the next guy. Use the draft, get to the next guy. You get there, at some point take advantage and get to the next guy. And in 57 laps, you start third row, fourth row, fifth row. Some of these riders who were contenders, the Gary Johnsons of the world, started pretty far back, and they just had to keep working forward. And some of them got there.
Yeah, they did.
Gaz had a decent finish.
Yeah.
The best UK rider,
bro. Yeah, that showed up, right? I mean, unfortunate
with minimal budget.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Danny Webb, and I forget what lap he was. He ended up crashing out.
Well, that was early.
Yeah, that was early in the race, and Gary had a lot of setbacks coming into this weekend with motor problems and issues. Putting a program together, coming over here, it's not easy, right? And to finish where he finished, man, he did a proper mega really good job. I'm proud of all the UK boys. We had Peter Hickman come up. He finished fourth in the race last year. Unfortunately, he didn't have a good run at it this year with the several crashes. Of course, Davey Todd showed up his first time ever here at the Daytona. Unfortunately, ended up, first practice session, I think it was. So he's on his flight back home, I think now. It's awesome to see, especially the UK boys, to show up and put in the work, because this is the one race in America that everybody wants to come to race.
Well, and it's been an international race for a long, long time, and we lost a lot of that international flair. The fact that Peter Hickman was here, I mean, I spoke to some folks at Triumph America here this weekend, and the fact that Peter Hickman was the official Triumph entrant is somewhat disappointing, because they should be the UK entrant. Where's the Triumph US entrant? Where's the Triumph Canada? Where's Triumph South America, right? At the same time, where's American Honda?
Where's Kawasaki?
Where's Kawasaki?
Right?
Come on.
Suzuki? Where's Yoshimura at?
Let's go.
Let's go.
At minimum, we need to keep the international riders coming back. And what's been really fun is that these Isle of Man TT guys are just continually coming over. You mentioned Danny Webb, and Peter Hickman, Davey Todd, and Gary Johnson. These are guys that are used to racing on the streets, the Isle of Man, with curbs and buildings and street posts and and everything else. And they get here to Daytona, and you ask them about the high banks of Daytona and the walls, and they're like, "What walls? I didn't see any walls. I also didn't see any foot tall curbs either." And there's no jumps in the middle of it either. So I mean, this is somewhat of an easy racetrack for them, because it doesn't have all the crazy features that they may be used to.
No, absolutely.
The Dunlop truck rolling out right behind us there. They get all packed up heading to the next round.
Yeah, and we're saying that about the TT guys coming over here. They don't. It's funny because you asked Gary earlier. Do you see the walls around? And he's like, "What walls?" Right? Because I raced the TT, right? And we was talking about. He was telling us about using the front tire, keeping it more upright, so he didn't because he only used one tire this whole race weekend. And it's a specific time. Like this season was a brand new tire that they never raced on here at Daytona. So it was a level playing field, and also with the 3 pit stops too they implemented.
Yeah, that was interesting, right? I mean, to not get too political about it, there were some of the manufacturers that didn't have a very big gas tank, and they kind of made everyone else shrink their gas tank to conform to that one manufacturer, which I'm not sure I dig that. But what it did was they also mandated 3 pit stops. This is a race already that depends so much on pit stop strategy, and there's a speed limit on pit road. So like every time you stop, it just takes so long. That being said, it's the same for everybody. Whereas before, there wasn't a mandatory pit stop, but you kind of had to change tires and get gas because you weren't going to go the distance. But if you played your cards right, you only had to stop twice. You might have to stop a third time for a splash of gas and go, as we know, because some riders run out of gas in the last minute, last few laps or something. So I keep flip-flopping. Maybe I'm okay with the mandatory pit stop, because then it's an even playing field for everybody. We know that everybody's going to stop 3 times. It's a matter of when you're going to stop. And what's the strategy when stopping?
Oh, 100%. You know, and everybody used to
Because
do it.
because a pit stop doesn't mean you have to change tires.
No, we don't.
You just have to come in and stop
And take off.
and
right?
take off.
Yeah, a little splash of fuel, and you know, it changed the dynamic of the race this weekend because, like you said, it's 2 pit stops for the history of Daytona as far as we can go back. Now they implemented, like you said, the third to accommodate other manufacturers to make it a level playing field, I guess you would say. But how level a playing field was it really?
Yeah.
Right. So it was good to see the 3 stops.
Yeah, well, and
how each
let's
team was
stop
gonna-
there real quick because the teams that are faster are going to get in and out faster. The teams that are slower, they're going to cost even more time. It's going to create a much larger gap between the haves and the have-nots for the people that have all the cool equipment and stuff, right? So
100%.
yeah, turn this guy back here so we have another guest on the show. But yeah, man. And we've obviously been talking about the Daytona 200 and the Super Sport race. Cool thing is maximum points for Josh Herron going into the next round in Super Sport. That's that's an advantage, obviously. Kaylee Yakoff, 3rd in points going to the next round. Ty Scott, 2nd in points going to the next round. PJ no real hair off his back because he's doing Superbike anyway. So it's not like PJ lost anything there. DeMario scored incredible points there. Grigg, unfortunate, wrist and Grigg. He just bad luck. We're talking about luck. Bad luck for wrist and Grigg on that Celtic Racing Ducati. But Binder
was a dark horse for me coming into the weekend.
The funny thing was, right? You look at his rider resume, you go, well, shit, he's a lock.
He's going to smoke everybody.
He's going to smoke everybody. But Daytona's different.
Yes, it is.
New bike, new team. He didn't bring his crew. Doesn't have his own crew chief.
Never
So
been to Daytona.
you always wonder what that communication is like, right? We had the fortunate opportunity to work with Aaron Yates when we brought him over from the Yoshimura Suzuki team. Well, there was a issue with communication. Aaron's crew chief and chief mechanic at Yoshimura was Japanese. He was an incredibly talented crew chief and mechanic, but he didn't speak English very well. And you have Aaron Yates who barely speaks English.
So I was just saying, can Aaron speak English?
So there was just always a communication gap there, and it didn't always work. And he was kind of the 3rd guy. And one of the enticing things about coming over to our Jordan Suzuki team was the fact that this is your team. We can pivot tomorrow. Literally, you need a pivot, we'll make it tomorrow, and we don't have to go through factory Suzuki to do it, right? We need a new swing arm, we'll build a swing arm, let's go, right? We'll build a team around Aaron Yates. And this was a package that Jason Pridmore had already tested. He'd already proven it can run in the top 10 in the Superbike class, which for a privateer Superbike was ridiculous.
Phenomenal.
Back then. And we were able to put him on it. But communication was key. So we bring Aaron Yates in, we put him with Carl Steyer, we put him with Amar Bazaz, we put him with Richie Alexander, guys that understand each other and communicate really well. And it was just straight to the front for Aaron. And we were automatically, right away, he was competitive. And so a lot of that is lost in translation sometimes. But you get a guy like Binder to come over on his own without his own crew chief, right? Without familiarity on a completely different motorcycle, regardless of where he's raced, regardless of what he's raced. It's all new. They had a couple days to work out some stuff at Roebling Road outside Savannah, Georgia. I was there for a couple of days for that. And by the time they got down here, they were still kind of, I don't know if I got the package or not. First practice session, he was pretty far down the list. Q1, he was middle of the pack. Like, okay, starting to put it together. Q2, we're like, okay, like,
he's here.
He's here.
He is here.
He might be a problem.
Yeah, well, he is. He's going to be a problem for the season, I think.
For sure.
Having coming to a new series, to new racetracks. I'm sure he's done a lot of studying on YouTube and all that stuff. But his talent alone, he's going to be a problem. Ty Scott's got to have his hands full. Blake Davis is going to have his hands full. I mean, it's going to be a battle down to the wire.
Yeah, Blake Davis, I think we knew was going to be there.
No.
One of the well, again, back to Bender, surprise, not a surprise, right? I mean, I think that we knew that he would be good. We didn't know he'd be that good at Daytona that quickly. We didn't know if he would be a contender in the race, and he was. He was almost on the podium as a rookie, which would have been ridiculous. He gave that spot to Kayla on the last lap. What an unbelievable race, and he finished 4th. Not a bad finish for the Celtic Racing Economy Loop Plus tire team in general, especially since Riston was out. And then the other rider that didn't surprise me because we saw him do so well, we saw him in the lap times down here last fall, was Dominic Doyle. Doyle was there, man. Doyle was there on the 900, and I knew he was fast. I knew he'd do well. He's with that Liberty Street Yamaha team with Chuck Giacchetto, and I knew he had an opportunity to be there. We saw him go the distance, last couple of years in the fall. Just wasn't sure where he'd be at after the shuffle, but he was right there.
He was there. Yeah, he was there he was in top 10 for a lot of the race.
In the draft.
From what I saw personally, I just think that bike's still a little underpowered.
We saw that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of
the talent. I think he's there.
Oh, he's absolutely there.
Yeah.
Dominique's a fast rider, man, and he can win out anything. He's proven that.
Yeah.
Throughout his career.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about this season because it's so. I think this year is one of our deepest fields we've had in Moto America.
The interesting thing is, the last couple of years, I feel like the fields have been split.
Yes.
You had some fast guys in Superbike. You had some fast guys in Superstock. You had some fast guys in Super Sport. And I feel like you've got all the fastest 1000cc guys now in the 1000cc class. You've got a bunch of really fast guys in the 600 class. I mean, in the Super Sport class. And not that they're different, but the Super Sport class is full of a bunch of young guys that are coming up through, and that's who should be in that Super Sport class that are trying to earn a spot on a Superbike someday, right? And the Superbike class has a lot of really experienced Superbike guys.
There's a lot of veterans, for sure.
And they are ready to go.
Yes,
and a lot of them were down here this weekend, and you look at them and like, yeah, I wish I was riding. I wish I had a bike. It's hard for me to watch, but
yeah, it was funny.
But I'm ready for Daytona.
I ran into SDK yesterday, and we had that same conversation.
I
was like, bro, what are you doing here? He's like, man, I just want to race. Like, it don't feel right showing up and not being on the bike.
Yeah, I saw him on the grid. Yeah. He was itching. I think he's really excited to get after it on that BMW. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Who else? So yeah, also one of the deals that came together pretty late was the MV Agusta team.
Yes.
That was fun.
Avery and Ella Dreyer, on MP13. Let's go.
Brother, sister. They've been running the small bikes and the cup bikes and some twins bikes and all kinds of other stuff. And now they get a shot with Melissa, with Melissa Paris, and Josh Hayes' wife, and she is a phenomenal crew chief and a phenomenal mechanic. And with a business degree, by the way, and it's cool to see those two interact together, and the way that they interact with the team and support each other. And I don't think Avery was worried about his little sister passing him this weekend, but she was there, and she had the ambition. She just didn't get her bike where it needed to be, but exciting to have another manufacturer in that race.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Hayden Snead too was on MV Agusta last year on MP13 too as well. Speaking of Avery and Ella, they're the first two brother and sister duo here in Moto America. Unfortunately, their dad had passed away, and I'm so glad to see where they are because they deserve it. They're super fast, right? So it's not so much Avery, it's Ella. That's who you need to be worried about is Ella. I'm telling you right
Ella's
now.
Ella's going to be a problem.
Ella is a problem. So, yeah, it's good to see, again, brother, sister.
Well, and Avery's getting tall, too. I mean,
Avery grew a couple inches for sure.
He's going to have a problem getting under that bubble at some of these other rounds, that's for sure. Anybody else in the Super Sport class that stood out to you?
There was so much going on.
Yeah, really was.
And there's so many stories.
Every day, it was like 10 storylines.
Yeah, Not really, man. I mean, it was just a great race, great weekend.
Yeah.
You know, 3 pit stops implemented. I was really curious to see how the veterans of the team were going to handle this.
Yeah.
And make it work.
Yeah.
Right. And it was interesting to see, like we talked
Yeah.
about earlier, PJ and Heron working so close together. And
Carl Soltise, I think, you know, there's a little bit of disappointment there. There was a lot of excitement for Carl Soltise because he had done so well here in the past by himself with his own motorcycle. And he's got a BSB team who's bringing sponsors over, put together a bike for him. He said the bike's better than he's ever had. He's feeling better than he's ever felt. And just the luck just didn't go his way. It sounded like there was a fuel pickup problem. So he had to pit stop every 3 to 7 laps. But, dude, he was there.
He was there.
I saw him 8th or 9th at one point in time. I was like, ooh, this might be the year.
Yeah.
He breaks into the top 10. He finished 11th last year.
Yes, he did.
And-
Yeah. I mean, Super Carl, he's amazing, right? And we had this conversation last year. Actually, I think it was at Mid-Ohio. You know, being a privateer, doing your own thing, you're only going to make it but so far, right?
Yeah.
Then you need to transition into a proper team to help you make that next transition.
Yeah.
And that's where he's at right now.
Yeah.
So, man, again,
It's a fun deal, though, because they're helping fund him get around to most of the Moto America rounds. And the only reason he's not doing all of the Moto America rounds is because he's going across the pond to do BSB.
let's go. I love
So
it.
excited for him. He's a Midwest guy. We used to see him at more of the regional road races, but it just costs a lot of money to get to these nationals. So he's putting most of his money there and travel and everything else. We don't see him at the regional track very often. Michigan rider, we don't have many tracks we run in Michigan any longer. Those tracks are all falling apart.
Unless you want an ice race.
Yeah, well, there is that, and he's fast at that too. So I mean, for me, that kind of wraps up the super sport class. And if we start looking at the Twins Cup,
You know
I
who
mean-
I'm most proud of in the Twins Cup is 2 people, right? My buddy Andrew Way, he's a local Florida rider guy.
oh, man, he had to start so far back.
He started from dead last to
Yeah.
7th place.
Yeah,
Let's go on the Aprilia RS 660, right? And then
he had an
my
incredible
buddy-
start.
Caden Brown, right?
Yeah.
Just turned of age, first time. Well, he's been here, but not the 200 race, right? And
Yeah, he
got
ran Fall
18th.
Race of Champions when we were here.
Fall Race of Champions. And, I had a conversation with him after his weekend. And as a racer, you're never happy unless you win, right? But you got to think of all the positives you did coming down here, right?
Yeah.
Being on the show, making it on the
Yeah.
So.
Well, and one of the riders, 2 of the riders that I've always kept my eye on, because we saw them down here in the fall, and they've done so well in other things, and I interact with them all the time. Hank Vosberg,
Absolutely. He's going to be a major problem.
he is a major problem. He couldn't join the races until about mid-season last year because he wasn't of age yet, and he still finished 3rd in the championship. He set the pace early here in Twins Cup on the Aprilia. He set fast lap. He went out qualified. Practice, he was a problem. He won the first race going away. Nobody close to him. He just dominated. Made some adjustments overnight. Didn't have the best of luck. And some of the other Suzukis went a little bit faster.
Yeah. Matthew Chapin, right? Proud of him, too. He had a proper
What a great opportunity
weekend.
for him to ride for the
And
for
Ford.
the team Hammerton.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh,
He's another one that his talent is just
he's going to be a problem.
he is a problem.
And
right?
the cool thing is, so I was talking to Pat about that in the Moto America Live Plus post game show. I keep saying post game. The cool thing is, like we were talking earlier, the fast 1,000 guys are all on Superbikes. The fast 600 guys are all on 600s. And the Twins Cup class is made of a bunch of young kids that are getting after it, man. I mean, with the exception of Chris Parrish,
yeah.
I feel like the average age of everybody in that Twins Cup class is like 18 years old. There's a whole bunch of 16-year-olds, and the older guys aren't much older. Charles Burton was a little bit older. There's a couple of guys that are a little bit older, but for the most part, that's like, it almost feels like a junior cup class.
It does.
And they're fast and they're aggressive, and it's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Twins Cup class. I got a bunch of friends that race in that too.
Yeah.
So it's and it's good to see them battle. It's good to see the growth,
Yeah.
right, of all these kids and making it succeed. But this year alone, like I said, the Twins Cup to me is one of the most stacked class.
Yeah.
Minus DeMario, now he's in Super Sport,
Yeah.
but it can go down to the wire. Chapin, you got Vosberg, you got
Drain.
bro, Sam Drain.
He's a problem.
He's this tall. He's Danny Perdosa, right? So he can just fit perfectly in that bubble. And
He might literally be 4 feet tall.
Literally.
And I don't know if he's going to get much taller. If you look at his family lineage, he might not get much taller. He might be the pilot.
Might be the horse jockey.
Horse jockey.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
But what a cool kid. I mean, he's just quiet, respectful, good kid. Bodie Page.
Page is another one. Right?
I mean,
Horizon Ward winner.
And Rider of the Year from American. Yeah,
and flat track, as well. I mean, and if that don't tell you, then
there are so many. And then Sonia Lloyd was added last minute.
Yep.
She didn't really get up to speed here. I thought to be honest, I thought she would be faster here. She just never got up to speed, so I didn't get a chance to talk to her or her crew chief, so I'm not sure what happened there. She was fast at the Roebling test.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, once they got here, she just wasn't really a threat. And I expected her to be more of a threat, to be honest.
I think, coming from the WCR champion on the R7 and jumping on the GSX-8R.
Yeah, it's so hard to say.
It is. I get confused.
I know. I'd rather just say GSX-R 800.
Right, yeah, right. Make it simple, Suzuki. But, she did have some.
I'll send in my complaint and put it in the complaint
box. At Roebling had some testing, but it's a different ballgame when you show up. Still familiar yourself with the bike, being with the new team, not just a new team, but one of the best teams we have. Right? So,
cool thing is she has her dad and her uncle on the team, so there's some familiarity there. But I feel like she just didn't get up to speed. So for whatever reason that was, but I think she will. I think that she'll be a threat when you get to some other tracks. Her and I talked a little bit about the draft here, and that's one of the things. I actually had a talk with Hawk Mazzata. We were last night at the flat track, and which another whole conversation. But when we're talking to some of these guys about the flat track, what the young kids don't understand yet is how to do this, right? Roll off the throttle when you're in the draft. You just want to be full throttle the whole time. And the problem with that is, when you're using that draft, it feels good to slipstream around, but when you pull out, now you're pushing air and you're actually slowing down. Whereas if you pull up behind somebody and you roll off, you can still go faster together. And with the 600s and 1,000 cc bikes here, that's good for 5 mile an hour when you're linked up together. I mean, truly 5 mile an hour. So the smaller bikes, maybe they can get to 5 mile an hour benefit, especially when you get 3-4 in a draft. But what they keep doing is they keep trying to leapfrog one another and not just roll off and separate themselves from the group behind them. 100%. And so in talking to a lot of the younger kids, they don't really understand that yet. And I think that they will, but we haven't seen it. We just keep seeing them jumping out. And, because if you think about it this way, right, if we compare it to NASCAR, we're at Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing, the home of NASCAR. When we see a car jump out of line to try to go around somebody, if he doesn't have a car go with him, what happens? He gets left, whoop, and the line progresses without him. And you'll see that car go from first, second place to 20th in a half a lap. It's no different on these super bikes. You pull out a line, if you don't have a draft partner, whoop, you're now at the tail end. If you can even get back in the draft at the tail end of that. Yeah. And that train just keeps moving forward. But it caught Hawk Mazzata out on Friday in the Super Hooligans, and it caught a couple of kids out today. So you see them. Yeah, I pulled out. It didn't work. It's you got to learn to roll off a little bit.
That's the trick, right? Is telling your mind to do that. Another friend of mine that impressed me is Isaac Woodworth. Man, how good did he look?
He was top 3 qualifying. He was on the front row.
He had clutch issues. That's what.
Tall kid too.
Yeah, he is. Tall.
It's hard to get down behind that bubble.
It is, and then we, Dutch Radio and Kevin Almeida, right back.
He was right there.
Yeah, so it's again, I feel like this year is our most stacked class in every category we've had in America in a long time.
Yeah, it's fun.
For sure.
It's fun. The Harley Davidsons dominated the Super Hooligans. The Salomon sweep the podium 2 days in a row. Oh my goodness.
They're on it.
They're on it. That class, 35 motorcycles started Super Hooligans.
That's
5 different manufacturers.
Love it.
Unbelievable.
We love the Super Hooligan class. Right? A big shout out to Brian Mullins on the SV650. 2004, bro. It's like less than $5,000 and you're in this show, right?
It's fantastic.
It just goes to show that, privateers can show up on a budget-friendly bike.
Robertino
Still make
PHG,
sure.
one of the only Yamahas pushing the front. The Reno.
Preach you to
Pietri, if you could imagine Pietri being on the podium here at Daytona for an AMA Pro event, and with the flashback to his father, being on the podium here and doing so well in the 70s, how cool would that have been just as a tribute to his father who couldn't make it this week? So yeah, he that was impressive on the Yamaha. Good guy, and so, but man, that hooligans class, it looked. I thought from qualifying and practice that there was going to be more of a mix up front, and there kind of was. But when that white flag starts flying, for whatever reason, it's all saddled on Harley Davidsons to the checkered flag.
It is.
And they mixed it up a little bit, but Rispoli, Jake Lewis, Corey West were on the podium 2 days in a row. I talked to Rispoli for a few minutes, and he has that number one plate. I said, "Hey, how does it feel defending that number one plate?" He goes, "I ain't defending shit. I'm attacking it." He goes, I'm not waiting for anything. I'm gonna attack that number one plate. We're gonna put it back on the Harley Davidson, next year. He's like, I'm not defending shit. Like, okay, here we go.
Here we go.
And he put his money where his mouth was. He won the race yesterday and he ended up third. He got cut out of the draft today. And of course, Jake Lewis, another last lap, blitz through, 8 riders to the checkered flag to take the win. And you could hear him screaming all the way around this 3.51 mile course. It's just absolute insanity over there. But good for the Harley Davidson boys. They deserve it. They work hard. They put a lot of money into it. They got a big ass team down here.
Yes, they
That's
do.
for sure. And then switch it over to the baggers. Oh my gosh! Like you kind of thought, like, okay, well, maybe we're going to see the same thing in baggers because Harley Davidson put so much money there. But 11 motorcycles, not a big field, and it came down to really split, right? Indians, Harley Davidsons. Those Vance and Hines Indians found another gear. Holy crap!
Troy said that it felt like a super bike to him. The way he says every time he gets on the throttle, it's just pushing.
Another 5 mile an hour faster this year than last year with that Vance and Hines engine in it. That's scary.
It's insane. This is
185 miles an hour. I think the fastest they saw was 187.
That's insane
on a 625-pound Indian bagger. You
know what I want to see this year, and I've been talking about is I want to see somebody win on a bagger, and when they come up to the podium, just pull out beers and start throwing them out to the crowd, right? Like,
well, we saw in one of the qualifying sessions, there was one of the baggers hit the wall. It came out and had a wobble and hit the wall, and it like popped one of the bags open, and the bag was like flopping. And the Moto America Live team was joking about, we're going to see what's in those bags now. I was thinking like someone was going to come flying out of it, like his jacket and some shoes were going to come flying out of the carbon bag or something. It was pretty hilarious. Jamie was hilarious with that, and but yeah, it was quite the show. And the first day was Hayden Gillum on that number 69. He left
He's
no
on
doubt.
another level.
He was flag to flag, another level. Check y'all later on out. And he just led flag to flag. He was gone. No draft at the end. Gone. And that was pretty stinking impressive. And today it was Herfoss. So good to see him. When we talked to Herfoss, he had mentioned the fact that he would usually race the Australian Superbike Championship back home. He didn't do that this year. He was kind of questioning whether or not he should be keeping his riding skills sharp and what he should be doing and should I be riding, not riding. But when he showed up and started riding the bagger this year, he just felt fresh and strong, and it shows because he was outstanding this weekend.
And Troy also said, this is one of the major wins he really wanted to do was the 200. Yeah. Today he finally got it.
Yeah. Yeah, God, can you imagine Troy Herfoss on a Daytona 200 bike? I mean, on a super sport bike.
No problem.
That'd be a problem. Yeah.
For sure.
I'm surprised that they haven't tried to figure out a way to make that work because he's got the talent. Why would you not pay him to do something like that?
Yeah, but I agree, 110%. Again, Daytona is always magical as it always is. And it was a bunch of great racing. Kyle Wyman ended up on the podium, third place in both races. Rocco Landers got second. Hayden Gillen mopped him up. So, and the first one, it's good to see.
Yeah. So, what did we leave out? Anything? Flat track was amazing. Triple Crown last night on Friday night.
Cody Kopp was straight on it, right?
Oh,
Dallas Daniels looked really good. My boy Sammy Halbert didn't have the best weekend this weekend there, but coming to the flat track races is one of my favorite things to do when I show up at Daytona. Right there, listen, people, you're right there at the fence, turning your head because the dirt's hitting you.
But bring goggles.
But bring goggles, right? It's funny.
And rain gear.
Yeah, and rain gear, right? Yeah, it's and wear clothes you want to get dirty.
Yeah, and well, that's what the rain gear is for.
Yeah.
So my trick to going to flat track is you got to wear glasses because I was still wiping dirt out of my eyes at lunchtime today. You gotta wear a hat, you gotta wear glasses or goggles or something. You gotta put on like just dirty rain gear because you're gonna be just dusty head to toe. And we had an opportunity to hang out with the Daytona Speedway, audio visual team there, and had great seats or standing room only seats right in the middle of the roundy round. And just man, what a cool event. And they had the BTR girls there. Women, they're not girls. So some of them are girls, but the BTR ladies, the build train race from the Royal Enfield, and just man, they put on a good show.
Put on a great show.
You would think that there'd be a larger separation just because they come from such diverse backgrounds, but maybe it's the bikes that are so close in power that they're ridden to their potential.
Yeah.
But they had a good time, and then. One of the funny races, I don't know why it was funny, but it was like 6 or 7 bikes, was the
adventure.
The big adventure bikes.
Bro, when they pulled up on those, they said they're going to race them. I was like, let's go, right? It was
some Africa Twins.
Bro, it was
big Transalp.
That was crazy.
What the hell? It was like 4 crashes in 2 laps.
Yes.
Like, what's happening here?
Simultaneously, the first guy went down, and then I was recording it. Then I heard the announcer, and by the time I looked to the right, the second guy went down, then the third guy went down. I was like, "What's going on?"
They were crashing on their own. They weren't even banging into each other. But they sounded stock and they looked stock. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Could you imagine getting like a KTM Duke out there or something?
That'd be fun.
That might be a problem.
Right? Might be a problem.
Yeah, 100%. Man. Oh my gosh, Daytona 2026 history was made.
Yes, it was.
Josh Herron, now the 3rd rider in history to win the Daytona 200 5 times. Did I say the 5th one? Yeah, the third winner to win it 5 times. He's won it 4 times in a row on a Ducati, once on a Yamaha back in the day, and those boys are going to be partying tonight.
Yes,
down at the Ocean Deck.
Yes, they are. Hangovers tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, super proud of those guys. I used to race with David Yakov, Kayla's dad, and he was really emotional. Their whole family was emotional in the winter circle, and I just couldn't help but to give him a big hug, slap him on the back of the neck, and so I'm just super stoked for those guys. Ben Spees and that whole team just has really done a good job of putting it all together, and I think it really exemplified team effort and strategy and everything else, and I'm just really proud that guys like PJ and Josh Herron, who could easily come into here and go, nope, this is my race, this is my deal, I don't need to work with you, I can win it on my own. But they didn't do that. That they literally sat back and were like, yeah, man, look, like we're the 2 strongest guys in the field, let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Well, and to be honest, PJ's led qualifying, and PJ's led, along with Tyler Scott, PJ was the fastest of the 4 Ray Hall Ducati Moto riders anyway. So it would make, and Josh Herron was struggling. So it would make sense that Josh would want to team up with PJ to pull him along and help him out. And then at the end of the race, it was almost flip-flop. Josh had figured it out, and PJ was just kind of not tagging along. That's not fair. But PJ was like, yeah, cool, man. Like, let's get there. And then, wait for that white flag, and
it's on.
And let's go. Figured out. So, but it was exciting. I think, for the Daytona events that I've been at, in the last, decade or whatever, this I think I was most excited for. I think it delivered it's really exciting to look ahead to Atlanta and Barber and Road America. The races coming up. For anybody that hasn't already subscribed to the Moto America Live Plus, you just got to do that. It's the best ticket in town, and I think that there's going to be so much great footage there. So I'm a subscriber, you're a subscriber.
Absolutely.
So you gotta do that. But yeah, man, let's wrap up this show. I think Daytona 26 in the books.
In the books.
Yeah, man, appreciate you coming down and
dude,
bringing
it's an honor.
pops,
Yeah, man.
hanging out,
Absolutely.
and
Looking forward to Atlanta.
yeah, helping take pictures and all that good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully I got a job in Atlanta. I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe there is, maybe there isn't.
If not, we'll create our own.
Right, exactly. We'll figure that out. We are looking for sponsors, by the way. If you want to be
Hit us up.
sponsor, Pin the Gas
Yeah.
podcast or the Exhaust Noise podcast on Cycle Vision Network, we are available, and we will take cash money.
We will take
We
donations.
will take donations. Yeah, we'll just pass our hat around like a church.
That's right.
Take donations or a QR code. You can Zelle us some cash. But all right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Almost an hour now. Go grab yourself an ice cold Coca-Cola or beautiful Budweiser from the bistro. And we'll see you next time on Cycle Vision Network or Pin the Gas podcast. We'll see you soon. We love you. Thank you so much for watching.
See you guys.